first time I ever had sex, I was sexually assaulted. And it would change the course of my life. I was skiing with my cousin and my dad and some of his friends. We were at Arcabutla, which is a place in Mississippi. It's a dam, and the other side of the dam is a lake. So they had been drinking beer. My dad, which was common, forgot to get Cokes or water. So when we got thirsty, we had to drink sips of beer too. I fell, and my cousin dropped. We're tandem skiing, so my dad came back to pick us up, and there was a pontoon boat sitting there full of college guys who were already harassing us in the water. You know, we had bathing suits and life jackets and stuff. And my dad recognized the guys. There were two adult males, and then all these college boys. And my dad, I don't know what he had, but he held up a baggie of something and was like, "Want to go to the cabin?" And so the adults got on the boat with my dad, and there was no plan to meet up. There was no, he said, "I'll see you before dark." And I wasn't sure where that meant. So we get on the boat with these guys. First they pretend it's run out of gas. I really couldn't believe, even at that age, that they had used that one. And I knew it was wrong. And they were floating us into reeds, on cattails and reeds on the side of the river. And I said, "Okay, I'll swim for help." I swam, I don't know how, probably almost a quarter of a mile. And I flagged down a boat. And when I did, all of a sudden they were behind me. "Oh, we got it started again." And I'm still like too young. I'm feeling that it's not right, but I don't understand quite yet.
You know,
right? My cousin is a girl too. She's older than me.
How old were you?
I was 14.
Okay.
And so we're hungry. He says, "Let's go to our cabin on the lake and let's make some hamburgers. We're supposed to meet your dad there." I'm like, "Yes, I really want to see my dad right now." And one of the guys, I don't even know how many of them there were now. It seems like there were 7 or 8 guys, and then there were 2 of us. And my cousin was 16 at the time. And her mother had taught her a lot about sex. Her mom was a feminist, and really taught her how to take care of herself. My mom was very ashamed of her body, and she didn't want me to read our bodies ourselves or anything like that. It was shameful, and you just don't talk about that. So this guy asked me to come inside and help him cut tomatoes. And they did have hamburger meat out there, and they were making patties, and the grill was on, so that made sense to me. I always helped when we cooked. And I got inside, and I had the knife in my hand, and I said, "There were no tomatoes." And even with a knife in my hand, I haven't even thought about that until I just said it. He picked me up. Just picked me up like I was a book or a bag of dirty clothes or something, and put me in a back bedroom, locked the door, opened the window so that his friends could see and hear and write to me. And then threw a box of toilet paper at me and said, "Clean yourself off." And I couldn't even bring myself to tell my dad, and I didn't even know where to start. I had no idea what had just happened to me. And I walked out, and I was crying, they were all laughing at me, including my cousin, which made it really hard. Like, here's this woman who's supposed to be taking up for me and who isn't. I talked to her about that. Oh, I got older. What happened back there? What happened? You knew you were older than me and needed your help. And I'm sure she felt pretty helpless and probably scared herself that it was going to happen to her. But I tried to jump off the front of the... I did jump off the front of the boat while it was moving. They said, we got out, and I just kept saying, take me to my dad, take me to my dad. And while we were going, it was nighttime. You're not supposed to have that kind of boat out on the lake at night. I just thought, well, the outboard motor will probably take care of me if the boat doesn't knock me out and hit me first. Jumped and somehow jumped too far down and came up after the boat was gone. And so they all laughed at me again as they pulled me back in the boat all wet. And got to my dad. He was mad at me for being home after dark. And, or at the cabin after dark. Made me ride home in the back of the truck with the dogs. And wouldn't let me eat that night. What's even harder is I would let myself be raped again out on the streets. And this is common for people who are raped early. And do not do anything about it, or do not feel that they have the power to do anything about it, for them to get sick, turn to drugs, or think that sex is the only way that they can communicate with the other sex or get anything done, that's where their value lies. And so in some ways it was just sex that I didn't want to have. It wasn't necessarily like somebody taking me by force at that point, but I felt like I had to do it to maintain a relationship with a man. And that was really hard for me to go, oh, I need to check that. I need to change that. And I had just got away from men for a year. Lived alone. So I thought that I had to like go away and have a baby and come back. So I went to like a public health clinic in Austin, Texas, where they told me I had gonorrhea and now cervical cancer because I had the HPV virus. Right. So I had to go home and like have an operation because of this one incident and not being able to talk, feeling muffled.